Senator Durbin, for your longtime leadership on addressing this disparity. Ms. LaBelle, as you described in your testimony, the crack cocaine and powder cocaine sentencing disparity has had a disproportionate impact on communities of color. The impact continues today. Do you agree that eliminating this disparity is a key component as we look at issues of race disparity in the criminal justice system?
Absolutely, Senator. Thank you.
And what more should the federal government do to help address the long-term impact that the sentencing disparity has had in communities of color?
I mean, I think I outlined some of that in my remarks, that we need to make sure, first of all, to restore trust that in our criminal justice system, in our drug policies. We also need to make sure that we have equity when we are looking to prevent substance use from ever occurring, and to treat people, make sure we're getting access to treatment for people in need, regardless of their color. And that's another piece in our policy priorities that we're working on.
Exactly. And for me, it's been a lot about, for my old days, in my other job as a county attorney, it's been expanding drug courts, expanding access to drug courts, and making sure they're available to everyone. Governor Hutchinson, many states have taken action to end the disparity in sentencing. In Arkansas and Minnesota, the criminal code provides the same sentencing guidelines for crack and powder cocaine. What impacts have you observed in states that have moved to equal sentencing for crack and powder campaign? What lessons have you learned from your state that have led you to be testifying today?
Thank you, Senator. And I can't speak for every state, but you start with equal treatment, and that's what a 1-to-1 ratio gives us. You know, in terms of the impact on communities, you can see that many times these cases are brought into federal court. And while, you know, we have it 1-to-1 at the state level, as everyone knows, through the task forces and through federal prosecutions, that these cases will wind up in federal court. And while our ratio is good, that difference with the federal system, really for the person out there who's a defendant, they just see it as one system. And so we have to really bring that sense of fairness together at the state and federal level.
And are you a believer in drug courts? And I just discussed them with Ms. LaBelle.
Listen, thanks for raising that. I'm a big supporter of it. I supported that while I was head of the DEA even, and then carried it out as governor. We're a very active drug treatment court system, and I've seen them operational across the country. They're one of the most effective tools we can have that brings accountability, but also treatment that goes along with it.
Thank you. Back to you, Ms. LaBelle. Justice Sotomayor recently noted in a case called Terry v. United States that there is, and these are her words, an extensive record of race-based myths about crack cocaine that the media branded into the public mind and the minds of legislators. I'd like to run through with you a few of these to make clear why we should take action to continue to eliminate this sentencing disparity. First, is it true that the science does not support treating these two drugs differently? Yes or no?
Yes.
That the science does not support it?
The science does not support treating these two drugs differently, yes.
Okay. Is it true that both powder and crack cocaine are addictive and pose serious health risks? Both of them? Okay,
yes,
and is it true that there is not data to support the claim that crack cocaine causes violent behavior?
No, there's no research on that to support that.
Okay. And so could we go back to the first one or the second one about the addiction and the serious health risks and powder versus crack cocaine, just what the science really shows on that?
So it's based on how you use it as opposed to the drug itself. So most people use crack cocaine. It's vaporized and it goes into the bloodstream much faster, and it affects your brain in a faster way. However, powder cocaine can be injected, and it has similar properties to affect and affects the brain in the same way as vaporized crack cocaine.
Uh-huh. And then back to the other one on the violent behavior. I know there are some incidences involving cocaine of violent behavior, but what you're saying is there's not actually data on this.
The research shows that it's not an individualized issue, that it's really about drug trafficking itself.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by that?
So it's the trafficking that leads to the violent behavior. And as Governor Hutchinson said, you know, there are ways in which our sentencing provides for more violent crimes to increase sentencing based on the act itself as opposed to the drug.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate your work. Thank you.
Thanks, Senator Klobuchar. Senator